college that needed to be more white. So they engaged in a systemic, intentional, discriminatory program to get rid of all the black people, put up the institution. I got a hell of a story to tell you. Education disrupted by discrimination. Feds order a Kansas community college to reform policies after the school unfairly disciplined black athletes, expelled them, harassed them, did everything they could do just to get them to leave the institution. Highland Community College, a Kansas community college, was ordered by the Department of Justice to reform its policies and procedures on discipline, campus security, housing, and racial harassment after the school was accused of unfairly expelling and discriminating against its black athletes. Put her up. That's the president. Her name is Deborah Fox. Deborah Fox was named president of Highland Community College in 2019. Fox served as director of business operations and management for USD number 446 Independence Kansas School District. Previously, she served Highland Community College as the vice president of finance and operations for 14 years and assistant dean of regional instruction for 3 years. The US Justice Department reached this settlement with the Highland Community College after 2 lawsuits were filed against the institution for its discriminatory practices and on-campus harassment against some of its black students. The first lawsuit was filed by 3 former coaches who alleged that college leaders readily worked to reduce the number of black student athletes by purposely not recruiting African Americans. They claimed that school leaders sought to, quote, to make Highland white again. Sounds familiar? That federal lawsuit also detailed how college leaders worked to coordinated to intimidate some of the black student athletes into withdrawing from school. The American Civil Liberties Union filed a second lawsuit against the school, claiming the Highland would expel black students for minor or bogus violations and were targeted for searches, surveillance, and harassment on campus. Federal data from 2022 shows that even though black students make up about 11% of the campus, about half of Highland's student athlete population up until recently was black. The complaints allege that the school subjected those students to more severe and unfair treatment than their white peers. When the Justice Department opened its investigation into the school in January 2022, which the school fully cooperated in, its officers investigated these allegations, put them up. This guy's in charge of student affairs. Now, what you just heard, things like targeting African Americans, searching them illegally, making sure that they have a harsher penalty than their white counterparts. Why would the college not assume you could do that when America does it every day? They are following the same exact blueprint. Dr. Eric Ingmeyer is the vice president for student services. He came to the college from the Fremont campus of Pueblo Community College, where he was the director of student services. Sir, I highlight you because as a college professor, I understand how important your position is. I also understand when a person in your position fails to speak up and be an advocate for students, how feckless of a leader you are. There's more. The settlement between the feds and the school requires the college to revise its policies and practices to improve campus climate, improve the fairness of its proceeding brought against students, and strengthen its training for campus security to promote consistent, non-discriminatory interactions between security personnel and students. Additionally, the college must ensure an effective response to students' complaints of racial discrimination, make sure that its campus security officers are thoroughly trained on effective de-escalation techniques and non-coercive methods of gathering information. In other words, nothing. You think officers were following, I don't know, either their lack of understanding how to do the job, or were they following orders? According to the federal government's proclamation, they were following orders. So let me get this right, DOJ. In order to fix this, the security officers just need more training. But you all claim in the document that they were following orders. There's more. No college student should have their educational experience marred or disrupted by discrimination based on their race. That's what the Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division said. I actually like her. She does a lot of great work. Community colleges are an important pathway to four-year institutions and the workforce. And federal law requires that their campuses, programs, and activities be equally available to all without regard to race. The Justice Department is committed to protecting the civil rights of college students across the country to pursue a higher education in a safe, welcoming, and discrimination-free environment. Highland Community College President Deborah Fox said the school welcomed working with the Justice Department's Educational Opportunity Section to come to a consensus about how to improve campus life for students. We need to talk about how to not be discriminatory, how to not target African-American students, how to say no to make our college whiter again. It's insane. Now, this is a microcosm. It actually is indicative of a larger dynamic happening across America. You think this is the only community college or higher educational institute engaged in such behavior? You got to think how deep this goes. They are literally willing to give up money in order to have no black people or very few black people on campus, because those students, they do pay money. They do garner interest from others who will see them play a sport. That is money to the institution. They're willing to give that up in order to engage in their racist enterprise. Our school, our student body is the most important part of the Highland community experience. We want to ensure that all students feel welcome to learn, develop, and thrive as they take important steps in their educational journey, Fox said. Now keep that quote up, okay? According to the government, ma'am, you all discriminated against black students. So why is your commentary about the student body? They didn't say you violated the student body. There's more. Fox said, Fox, who was appointed school president in 2019, was embroiled in some controversy last year after she likened one of the school's black football players to Hitler, whom she called a great leader, according to the Associated Press. Fox remarked on the player's leadership skills and his influence on other black teammates during a meeting about the alleged harassment of black student athletes. She later explained to the local news outlet KCUR that she was just trying to describe negative leadership and apologized to the school for her poor choice of words. Highland Community College is about 80 miles northwest of Kansas City, Missouri, and approximately 3,200 students make up its student population. Isn't that something? All right, Yasmin, thoughts here?
You know, people are really getting creative. Hate seems to drive creativity. Who knew? Yeah, this is especially egregious because I really believe that education is a way out of so many life circumstances. And I'm not even just talking about, getting a better job after college or making more money or a better living or anything like that. I'm talking about how valuable education is on its own. Knowing and learning and engaging with others, learning directly from professors and experts, discussing ideas and topics in a controlled and supported environment. Even getting exposure to different subject matters and types of people and interest groups. To deny people that opportunity for any reason, but especially on racial grounds, is unthinkable. And it goes back to a history we have in this country of trying to bar certain people from having the same opportunities as others. And I'll never understand it. If I know something, it doesn't mean that somebody else, can't know the same things. It doesn't mean that I know less if they also know it. But honestly, that's not really what this is about. It's about control on a societal level, which ironically is a thing that white Republicans are constantly afraid of. Despite being the one population in this country that probably doesn't need to worry about that. It's easier to control a population when that population is less educated and less informed, and they seem to be very aware of that.
Yeah, well said.